What's going on, folks? Eddie here. I hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we're gonna do three things. Firstly, we're gonna put a tune into the 124. Second, I wanna have a quick conversation with you folks about dynos. And lastly, I'm gonna give away the Catch Can. Remember this thing. Loading a tune onto the 124 is a really simple process. It's not as fast as some other platforms. I know some cars can be flashed in roughly a minute. The 124 is not one of those cars. It takes 5 to 10 minutes to load in a flash tune. It's probably best if I just show you. Come on, let's go. Let's quickly show you how to tune one of these cars. All right, hopefully you guys can see this. The first thing we're gonna do is plug in the handheld like so. We're gonna put the car into the on position. So in 124, it means we'll hit the start button twice with our foot off the clutch. We get tuning. It asks if we wanna continue writing the file. I'm not sure why they worded it that way, but the answer is yes. We're gonna put in the stage 0 tune for big turbo and E85. We hit next, and initialization in progress, please wait. Okay, so now it wants us to turn the ignition off and hit OK. Ignition off. Key on. So that's it. So now we can just go take the car for a test drive. Not a great day out, but really I just want to make sure the tune runs okay. So yeah, let's go do that. All right, so it runs pretty well. So unfortunately, the weather's really not that good today. I didn't get a chance to push the car whatsoever. The weather's just not appropriate for it. I live in Vancouver. It's what happens here. It rains all the time. We don't get winter, we get rainy season. Next weekend's supposed to be nice, so we can try it then. All right, so dynos. A lot of folks like to compare dyno numbers on the internet, and it's kind of hard to resist because when you're not driving your car, if you're really into your car, you probably spend a lot of time on the internet reading about the type of car you have or other cars that you like. And you know, because car people, it's what we do. But comparing dyno numbers doesn't work very well. The reason comparing dyno numbers on the internet is pointless is this. So let's say you have 3 shops, and those 3 shops are all on the same street. Now let's say this street is on a magic planet where the same ambient temperature is year-round, every day, there's no change. It's a fictional planet. Sci-fi. The environmental variables are a non-issue. So let's say you run your car at the first shop and you make 200 horsepower. You're pretty happy with it. That's not bad. So you get off that dyno, you go down the street, you get onto the next dyno. Let's say you make 250 horsepower on that dyno. Well, that's more horsepower. I don't know what the difference is, but hey, I'm happy to see 250 horsepower. Well, then you go down the street to the last shop and you run on their dyno and you make 150 horsepower. That's not as much horsepower, but you know what? I made 250 down the street, so I must have 250 horsepower. And that's the problem with comparing dyno numbers on the internet. Different dynos read differently. So what's the point of being on the dyno then? Well, the dyno is a good tool for before and after. So when you buy a new car and you know you're going to be modifying it, take the time to go have it dynoed when it's stock. Get yourself a good baseline. Now, don't worry so much about what numbers come out of it. If the car runs well and it's pulling fine as it is, don't worry about what that number is. If it's lower than you expected, that's okay. If it's higher than you expected, that's okay too. It doesn't really matter. Regardless of what that number is, the car still accelerates the same once you get off the dyno. You're better off to have a low horsepower number in a fast car than you are to have a big horsepower number in a slow car. Anyhow, so now you have a baseline, and what that means is when you get mods done down the road, you can go back to that dyno and get another run and see what kind of power increase there is. Now, different days, different dyno, different weather. Well, you know you're on the same dyno, but you know the weather can have an impact on it. The ambient temperature, the humidity can have an impact. All these things can make changes to what your dyno results are. So try and, you know, book days for the same time of year perhaps. That can really help. Or try not to have too much time in between doing these parts. Ideally, you can go to the dyno when you have some new parts. Do your dyno runs, install the parts, and then do the dyno runs after. That's a great way to test your parts on your car. And now lastly, on to the catch can draw. All right, we're gonna use the YouTube random comment generator. Let's go take a look at that thing right now. I'm gonna copy the URL. Paste in the URL. There's 34 unique commenters. We'll hit start. All right, and the winner of the catch can is Shark Cohen. So Shark Cohen, get in contact with me, and yeah, I'll ship you out this catch can. Congratulations, Mr. Shark Cohen. You are the winner of the catch can. What you choose to do with it, you may do. If you guys like what we're doing, take a moment to hit that like button, hit subscribe if you feel so inclined, follow along with what we do. Some folks have asked the best way to support us. Just keep watching, folks. Share the video if you feel so inclined. That's the best way to help us. But ultimately, we're just happy making these videos. It's a lot of fun. I will see you folks next time. Next weekend, we will be installing a front mount intercooler. And until then, later.